In this story, there is a clear divide on the characters in this community. There are the rainbows and the non-rainbows. In other words, the dominant and the non-dominant. This community is a smaller representation of what we can see in our Canadian society. The rainbow wolves and rainbow bears have the ability to attain a career based on their color. Let's call this classism. The ranking of members in society. Classism, the systematic oppression of dominant class groups on subordinate classes in order to gain advantage and strengthen their own positions. You will see this idea more clearly as the story goes on. This is Grayson. He is from the outskirts of the village, where the non-rainbows scurry for scraps and keep one another fed as much as they can. Thankfully, they have one another to help encourage one another to keep going. These guys, they face challenges to make ends meet.
The harsh realities of social stratification, the division, and ranking of its members reinforce systemic barriers. This is the harsh reality we see in our societies. However, Grayson hadn't understood this just yet.
Grayson wanted to help. With some encouragement from his buddies, he decided he would go apply for a job so he could buy some necessities, especially food. Everyone is feeling hungry. So off he went to go give his resume to the boss, who is a rainbow wolf. Grayson made his way to the boss of the village. The one who accepts or rejects people to work in exchange for money. Automatically, the boss refused his request. He angrily said, "No, you do not belong here. You are not a rainbow. Go somewhere else, we do not accept your kind. You do not believe like us or act like us or know how to work the way we do. No, go back to where you came from." In the village where the rainbows reside, Grayson felt inadequate and desperate. He rummaged through wherever he could find for food and necessities he could bring back to his buddies who live on the outskirts of town. A rainbow bear was in dismay and thought, "Of course the non-rainbows are thieves, they do not belong here." Rainbow Bear called the police on him. He needed to be stopped. As Wolf sat in his cell, he reflected on the rainbow boss's words, how he had told him all those awful things. Negative messages, stereotypes, and the weight of unfair treatment weighed on him. It made him feel like his culture and experiences were not valued.
This is what we call internalized oppression. Internalized oppression occurs when marginalized groups adopt the prejudiced beliefs about themselves propagated by the dominant culture. This phenomenon can lead to diminished self-worth and hinder efforts towards social justice and equity.
Grayson started to believe these negative messages about himself. Suddenly, a glowing light appeared. He saw a fairy. She appeared to be offering him a pile of vibrant colors. He thought to himself, "Am I seeing this correctly? I wonder what that is about." The fairy then said to him, "Go and try again." He could only guess she meant for him to try and blend in order to get hired by the rainbow boss. Once he was released from the cell, he went and applied the colors the fairy gave to him. He thought about all the ways he can fit in and feel like he belongs. But this isn't fair. Everyone, regardless of its background, deserves to be treated with respect and understanding. Grayson applied the last drop of color. He started to think about it all. I wish everyone could be included.
This is what inclusivity and multiculturalism is, and it is enshrined in the Canadian Multiculturalism Act. Inclusivity means creating a system where everyone feels welcome and valued, recognizing and celebrating unique experiences of all. Multiculturalism means respecting and understanding the different cultures, learning from each other, and working together to create a fair society, truly embodying Canadianness. This perspective aligns with critical social theory, which encourages us to question and challenge the power structures that perpetuate inequality.
Grayson went back to the rainbow boss. He was instantly welcomed and felt so included. He thought to himself, "Wow, this is great. I hope the boss can see who I truly am." This is a temporary victory over the systemic barriers. At his job, he and his boss became the best of friends. His colleagues valued his input and work. Grayson, throughout his time building a friendship, started to recognizing the richness that diversity brings. He wished the boss could understand, on the inside he is a non-rainbow. But one day his colors began to fall off, revealing his true appearance. In his introspection, he started to consider what the colors represented. Each color represents a categorization of what in our societies are diverse. The colors put on are the ideals the dominant group finds acceptable. The colors he applied represents the dominant society traits: appropriate religion or faith, wealthy appearance, mid-upper class, educated status, not an other, the correct color, race, able body, Heterosexual sexual orientation. Canadianness, English language. This topic presents the idea of the implementation of the Employment Equity Act. The Employment Equity Act aims to achieve workplace equality for historically marginalized groups in Canada. It mandates employers to implement measures that eliminate barriers and promote representation across various job sectors. To the wolf's surprise, his colleague didn't care. He realized that their differences didn't matter and empathized with the bear's struggles against oppression. He admired the wolf's strength and resilience in the face of the challenges he had faced due to societal biases and systemic barriers. Together they brought changes to the workplace, actively working against the difference approach that devalues uniqueness, through inclusive recruitment and hiring, fostered an inclusive environment, and extended their support to those in need, with the bear playing a key role in helping his friends find work too. By embracing inclusivity and multiculturalism, the true essence of Canadianness, they created a better world for everyone. This is especially important in the context of the Canadian criminal justice system. A system that understands and values diversity, informed by data like that from the Ethnic Diversity Survey and striving for the goals of the Employment Equity Act, is more likely to treat everyone fairly, regardless of their background, and to address the root causes of crime such as poverty and inequality, that disproportionately affect marginalized communities facing oppression and systemic barriers.